Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Do you know anything about the Kabbalah, or I don't even know how you pronounce it, but or the Zohar? Well, I didn't know anything until just a few months ago, and it's fascinating. I mean, if you have not, you don't have to study it, but if you don't know anything about it, I suggest you look into it, because I've been following a rabbi and he teaches these things. And this is not a judgment thing. I mean, we all know that the government has caused division, right? And limiting beliefs and all of those kinds of things. Well, growing up, I mean, even back in biblical times, back when Jesus was here, they taught, things were against the Jewish people, and the Jewish people were the only ones that were going to go to heaven, or they weren't going to go to heaven, or, whatever. And it's like, what? So, which I never bought into. But and I used to be caught up in the mindset that if it didn't come from the Bible, it was wrong. And those people were going to go to hell. If you didn't, if you were a Buddhist, or if you were Jewish and you didn't study the Bible, I used to be caught up in that. And like I said, to me, at that point, you were wrong and you were going to go to hell. Well, I'm not there anymore. So, but what I'm saying is, expanding your knowledge, never quit trying to understand somebody else's point of view. Because the things that I have learned from this rabbi in the last just couple months are phenomenal. And I'll have to tell you, I was listening to him, I forget what it was a couple weeks ago. And he was going through, the beliefs and, things from the Torah and the Zohar and things like that. And I looked at my husband and I said, the crazy thing? And he said, this is what you've been saying all along? And I said, yes. I knew nothing about the Jewish traditions and their thought process and all of that kind of stuff. But a lot of what I've said is exactly what they teach. And now you might look at it and go, okay, well, they're wrong. And I have always said that, I've never been one, and maybe you're in this same boat, where you read the Bible, but it just doesn't resonate with you. Or not doesn't resonate. You just don't flip and understand it. And that was me. I just didn't understand it. I would read something because, you go to church and they say, okay, well, this chapter means this, and they give you their interpretation of it. And I would read a chapter, or they say, if you're having a bad day, or you're looking for an answer or whatever, go to the Bible, and whatever scripture you turn to is where you're supposed to get your answer. Well, that never worked for me. I always got my information divinely, straight from God, straight from the source. I never understood what it was until I started my spiritual awakening. And then it made perfect sense to me, because it's not about the book. And I have said for a while, since I started waking up and expanding my mind, I've always said the Bible is not a literal book. And he even said, it's a book of codes. And if you understand what it says, if you read it, you're missing the, if you read it and interpret what you think it says because of the story that it tells you, you're missing the whole point. It's not about word for word what is printed in the Bible. It's a code. It's a way of thinking. And this is what I've said, and this is what this guy has said. Now, I don't know this guy from Adam. I know nothing about, or knew nothing about the Jewish teachings, their books, any of it. So the fact that what I got before and it matches what he's saying, there's got to be some kind of validity to it. Has to be. You can't make this up. And, and learning about, because like I said, back to the division, and I remember growing up and, we always, and if you're Jewish, please forgive me because I didn't know any better. But you knock Jewish people for being not stingy, but they're looking to screw you out of something. Again, that's not my mindset anymore. That was what I was taught, So I always looked at Jewish people as a bad thing. They were scammers. They were trying to get one over on you. Well, it's not just Jewish people, it's everybody. And it's not, and Jewish people are not trying to get one over on you. Their true teachings teach the value of money. And it goes back to something that I've talked to somebody about this past week. And it's like, why are we paying 3 times or 4 times or whatever it is for building materials than we were paying 4 years ago? Simply because they decided, oh, we're going to raise the price. Well, it's not that you can't afford it. It's the principle behind it. And if you can find it for $5, why are you going to pay $25? That never made sense to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm Jewish. I don't know. But that never made sense to me. They got this concept because that's what they're taught, is the value of life and money and things. And as a non-Jewish person, we weren't taught that. Most of us, you just go buy whatever. You spend whatever. And the person I talked to this week, they said, when the price of everything went up, what we should have done is just say, okay, fine. You know what? If you want to play that way, we just won't build a new house. We just won't pay your ridiculous prices. And if everybody had stood hand in hand and said no, they would have had to have come back down on the prices. But because everybody just, okay. And that's the problem with why we are in the situation we're in now. Because we just, okay. And we just accept. They want to tax us for everything. They tax you on your taxes. It's insane. If enough people stood up and said, no, I refuse to buy it, I refuse to pay it, I refuse to, whatever, it works on supply and demand. But it all kind of fell in, it was like numerous things were falling into place this week. And like I said, because again, I used to be there where I thought the Bible was it. It was the only teaching. It was the only right thing to study. And that's not the case. You have to be open to learn more. Now, does that mean I'm shifting to a Jewish religion or a Jewish belief, or I'm going to throw the Bible away? No. You take what resonates and you leave the rest. But like I said, a lot of what this rabbi is teaching is enlightening, and it expands on what I already know and what I already believe. You know, and he talks about the their belief in what is it, where they eat matzah and what that is, and he explained the leavening process of the bread, and it's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense to me. So, you know, be open. Don't be so quick to shut people out when they talk about things that you don't understand or you weren't taught. You know? And again, our government has done a phenomenal job of brainwashing us and causing division and making us, and you know, and it hit me, and I told my husband this week, I said, think about it. Supposedly, Jesus was a Jew, right? Well, if Jesus was a Jew, they couldn't have been bad people. And yet we were told that Jews were bad people. I was told. Not that they were bad people, but, you know, they were less than. Okay, so where, again, you can't pick a side, you know? You can't say Jesus is a Jew and and Jews are bad, but you got to follow Jesus. It doesn't make sense. It just, you know, but so many people don't even think about it. They don't even question, you know, and again, this is not a judgment. I love everybody. I don't care what you believe. I don't care who you believe in. I don't care what religion you've studied. I don't care what color your skin is, what country you come from. I love everybody. It just blows my mind how people just go along and they don't even question. They don't even think about what they're being told and what they're saying. I never thought about that kind of stuff until now. You know? And now it's like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. You know, and when you think about if the Jewish people were on target with what they believed, look at how that mindset has been squelched because they were stepping into their power. They understood this. Again, Rome didn't want you to step into your power. The powers that be now don't want you to step into your power. They want to keep you suppressed under their control. You can't be free if you're living in lack and you're living in fear and you're living in division and judgment. So anyway, I just had to tell you guys that because, like I said, it's been such an amazing learning process. Learning about a different book that some of them I never even heard of. You know, but for it to be some of the same things that I've said all along, it's crazy. So anyway, I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you understand to to be open. You know, don't be so fast to judge. I mean, like I said, I was there. I get it. I understand. Open your mind. Expand your knowledge. If it's not something you know about, I mean, it's like my neighbor. You know, Jehovah's Witness will come to her house and she invites them in and all that kind of stuff. And people call her crazy. They're like, aren't you a Christian? And she said, yes, I am. But would Jesus have turned them away? You know, I mean, think about it. You Christians tell you, what would Jesus do? And yet they do the opposite. They expect you to do the opposite. And if you do what Jesus did, they look at you like you're wrong. And not all Christians. I mean, I think the world of my neighbor. And kudos to her. God love her, to invite these people in and listen to what they have to say. You never know what you'll learn if you just shut them out. Yes, I have my beliefs. I don't mind listening to yours, but don't shove yours down my throat. And I'm not going to shove mine down your throat. I'll tell you what I believe. And maybe you'll learn something from me. Maybe I'll learn something from you, just like I'm learning from this rabbi. So anyway, it's phenomenal. Always be curious. Always learn. We came here to learn and grow and expand. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean you have to shift everything. But just be open. Don't be closed-minded. I did that for too many years. I did that for way too long. And it almost cost me my daughter. She just refused to speak to me until I started opening up and accepting her and accepting things that she said and I stopped judging her. I mean, now some of the things that we talk about, she'll say something and it's like, yeah, you're 100% right. Even though it's not what is typically taught. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm here to help you. These are all things that, we'll dive into some in my class, in the coaching class that starts in May. So I'm going to put a link below. If you haven't signed up yet, it's a limited, I only have so many spaces available and it's filling up quickly. So if you haven't signed up yet, get on board. It starts May 13th. It's a Monday. It's a Zoom. So if you work and you can't make the Zoom sessions, they will be recorded. So you can pick them up. It's a free class. 6 weeks of expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, and liberating your consciousness. So anyway, much love, and we will talk soon.